Thanks for joining me today, and welcome to the sandwich generation, where you and I are sitting here in the middle between our kids and grandkids and our parents and our grandparents, and we're just trying to make it okay for everybody. So today I want to talk to you a little more about memory care, because there are some good reasons to go to memory care, and I think I was too harsh on one of my videos where I said it's just for exit-seeking people. Now, I have to say that for the most part I still believe that, but there are a few other things that I wanted to touch on just to make sure that if you're in this scenario that you're getting the exact words you need to hear. Memory care is set up to where everything is secured. And they use the word secured because locked sounds really creepy. But really, you and me talking here, it's locked. And what that means is, like we talked about before, the different types of setups you can have. Most people that are in memory care have some sort of exit-seeking behavior. I have talked to a family before that their dad turned into Houdini whenever he got dementia, and they had locks all the way up the doors. They had all kinds of things, monitors everywhere to make sure that he stayed in the house and was safe, but he kept getting out. And no matter what they did, they would find him hanging off the balcony of the second-story window, things like that, because he didn't know. And that's the thing about dementia. It's so hard because they look like themselves, but they're not themselves. And so it's really a tough thing for a lot of people. It was tough for me. There are a few other reasons, though, that you might want to consider memory care. If you'll remember from a few videos back, we talked about how memory care puts the focus on the memory issue. And so whenever you're in assisted living, they're that more holistic approach. Do you remember that? So that is true. But the thing is, sometimes the dementia overtakes everything else. Certain types of dementia are worse than others about this, but the behaviors get to be in a way where it's an issue. And so that's the time that you do want to think about memory care, because that is going to be their singular focus. Maybe the part of their brain that is most effective, they can't speak the words they need to speak. That's very common with dementia. And in those scenarios, memory care is probably a better idea. If they're in assisted living, again, with the holistic approach, yes, they're looking at that memory issue, but what if they struggle to communicate with their caregivers? And you'll know. I mean, we're not talking about garden variety, they just don't understand. We're talking about what they call a word salad, where the words that come out of their mouth don't even make a sentence, and they don't go together, and they're not about the subject at hand. That is a place where dementia has overtaken all of their other issues. And if that's the case, memory care is a good solution for that. If you have memory care as an option, it's because whatever is happening with the dementia is far overtaking everything else in their life. If they're still able to communicate in any sort of way, if they are not running for the door every 2 seconds, things big like that, then you can go ahead and go to an assisted living. Our doors are secured, but they're not quite as secured as they would be in a memory care. It would be unlikely that your loved one would be able to get out of those doors, but it could happen. Where in memory care, that is much less likely. So if that is your primary issue with your loved one, memory care is your deal. And if your primary issue is they can't speak and communicate, memory care is a good place, because that's all they deal with is people who can't speak and communicate. So think about the big picture. And you can move people to assisted living and then move them to memory care. Memory care is really expensive usually, and so you might want to wait until they have a lot of those symptoms, because not everyone with dementia ever gets to that point. I don't know if you know that. I didn't know that. Whenever my husband got dementia, I was just thinking about My God, he is so young. They're telling me this is going to drag out for 10 years. How are we going to afford this? How are we going to deal with this? Where can he live? How long can I keep him with me? If you have a loved one with dementia, those are the questions that are running through your head constantly and keeping you up at night. So, at that point, if they need to go to memory care, they can. And I know a lot of people say, I want to move in this one place and be done. And that's a good idea. But on the flip side of that, if you're thinking that maybe down the road they're going to need memory care, they don't right now. So you're putting them in a place where people can't communicate and people are running all around. You know, put them a place where they're going to be like the other people there. Even in assisted living, we have almost everyone has dementia, because remember, a couple of decades ago, we just called that forgetfulness, or, Aunt Harriet's a little confused. Dementia sounds like this big, ominous thing, but it used to be called hardening of the arteries. It used to be that we called everyone that had memory issues had Alzheimer's, but we know better now. And we also know how to specialize that care. So think long term, of course, but really think about the next 2 years, the next 2 months, even if you're in a really sticky situation, because that's what you need to be focusing on. So I want you to stop, take a breath, think it through, and we're going to work on this together. If you need help, if you have questions, you give me a call. I'll help you walk through anything I can. I will give you my resources. Just don't go it alone. Thank you so much for watching today.